As much as this film is a thriller with some drama, it certainly comes back to a very, very valuable lesson. Folks, let's jump into my review of the new film, The Antares Paradox. What's up, folks, and welcome back to the channel today for another review. And today we're going to be reviewing the film The Antares Paradox, which made its world premiere this year at Fantastic Fest 2022. So yeah, this film, I initially thought it may be a horror film. First of all, it's one of the first films I wanted to check out this year at the film festival. And I read the synopsis and said, oh, this seems very interesting. And I thought maybe it's going to be a horror film, but you know, because obviously Fantastic Fest is a genre film festival, so I thought maybe it could be a horror film, but it certainly was a drama with and a thriller. And it's certainly sci-fi, you know, all those sorts of things in here. And the other thing in terms of production, that it gives you sort of that pandemic feeling, because during the pandemic, you know, most people had limited resources, limited sets, limited cast. And this one didn't have a major cast. It definitely had one major set, as we had Alexandra, excuse me, who was basically at her job the entire time. Her sister was in the car at a point. Her father we'll talk about in a second, but more or less we were in Alexandria's work office, and Alexandria, played by Andrea Trepat, is a SETI scientist, SETI, which stands for Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. And I gotta say, the pressures of her job is very similar to NASA back in the 80s. When, you know, NASA's whole goal was the space race, and there was a lot of money being dumped into NASA, and folks were not happy about that because there was a lot of other things that the US could have been using their money on. It's the same thing here, because Alexandra is feeling a lot of pressure from everyone around her saying like, hey, we're not actually finding anything. They're probably going to cut the budget. We're spending a lot of resources, money, and time for this, and we're not finding anything. So she got her co-worker saying, listen, I'm about to quit. She also is a frequent guest on a podcast, and they're obviously putting her under the spotlight, and they want to know, like, why are we continuing this and we're not finding results? So she's getting a lot of pressures with her job alone, only to get a call from her sister Anna, who basically says that, hey, our dad's in the hospital, he's not doing too well, you need to come see him. Well, while that seems like a no-brainer, she then gets a hit, and this hit is like her saving grace for everything she's been working for on her job. So now she's stuck in a very tough decision of, do I continue to follow this lead? And obviously this is like, you know, groundbreaking, you know, this changes everything, and she's able to say that she made contact with, you know, aliens or anything. Or did she go see her dad, who time is very limited? And this is important, because like, you do have folks who kind of put their job over their family or personal life and whatnot. And this balance right here has really ripped apart a lot of families and a lot of people. And I think that looking at Alexandra, what she's going through, trying to be in two places at the same time, obviously you can't, is taking a very emotional toll on her. But obviously, you know, no one wins in these situations, especially when it's not handled correctly. And we see Alexandra, who's basically a depiction of what happens when you do not handle things correctly, because you can't be in two places at the same time. So she's left to make a difficult decision, and what would that decision be? So with that being said, I thought that Andrea Trepat, who played Alexandra, did a fantastic job in taking us on this emotional roller coaster. From her interview podcast, where she kind of was just, you know, very calm at times, is just trying to, you know, explain, you know, why she's so passionate about what she does. At times with the conversation with her sister, where there's a lot of emotion and all sorts of different things are kind of going on in those conversations. And then even at work, when she's just trying to figure out, you know, if her lead is legit. This is not something she's seen before. You know, other folks are basically trying to tell her, hey, this is an anomaly, this isn't true, you need to kind of let this go. And much like anything that you do, if you push too hard, sometimes it breaks. And how far did she go when everyone's telling her to stop? So like this film was really good. The production was good. Even with this limited set, it was really good. The suspense, all the events that are happening, you really don't know what is going to come. And then the fact that, like, obviously she may have intercepted a signal from outer space. And if that becomes a thing, what does that look like? And like that sort of revelation in this film is something that I think we're in the edge of our seat for the entire time, wondering, would she do this? You know, how is this going to play out? Her dad, you know, how much time does he have? What's been her conversations with her dad, her doctors, her sisters? What does it look like if she does not show up? You know, all these sorts of different questions are happening, and there's so much happening with such a limited time. So I really enjoyed this film. I thought this was a film that, you know, could be a horror film, but instead, no. It's a sci-fi drama thriller that has a lot of different things going on. But at the end of the day, it teaches you a very valuable lesson. And, you know, you got to get your priorities in order. That's it. So, hey, check this film out. I think this was a fantastic film. Definitely worth going out your way to check out. And I think, again, with this feeling like a pandemic film, which you obviously saying that, like, you know, obviously there's independent film, but pandemic films are independent films that just had limited resources. And with this film mainly being on one set, they really made a lot of magic happen, and that I thought was really dope, and definitely think that makes it worth a watch. So hey, go look out for this film, check it out. When you do, jump in the comments, let me know your thoughts about it, and as always, stay tuned for more reviews very soon.
Big gold bell.